What's up, y'all? Officer Baker here, cop turned CEO. Look, it's no secret that building a good credit score is very important in today's society. So, today I'm going over the 4 top credit cards for any beginner that's just now starting their credit building journey. Now, I know what you're thinking.
But Dave Ramsey says you don't need a credit score to buy a house.
Wrong! No, I'm just kidding. I love Dave Ramsey. I agree with most of the things he teaches. However, I just don't think it's reasonable for a normal person off the street to go to a bank and obtain a mortgage with absolutely no credit history. Unless you're gonna use a private lender or a hard money loan, which typically is only used on a short-term basis for such like a fix and flip on a house that's an investment property, because they do tend to come with a lot higher interest rates than you would normally get at your normal financial institution. Now that we got all that out the way, first let's talk about what makes a starter card different from any typical credit card. Usually the APR, the annual percentage rate on the starter cards, are usually higher than what you would normally see on like a prime credit card if you have a good credit score. Now, a starter card does work the same as a prime card, meaning whatever you charge on that card, you're borrowing that amount from a financial institution and you're gonna have to pay that back. I don't recommend ever carrying a balance on your credit card. 1, because you don't want to be in debt. 2, because you're gonna be charged interest on that amount that you have on your credit card if you do not pay it in full by the end of the month. And as I stated before, these starter cards typically have a higher interest rate than your prime card, so that's more money that you would have to pay in interest, so it's just not a good idea to carry a balance. There are some best practices to keep in mind with credit cards, and if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below and I'll save that for another video. Now, let's dive right into the top 4 beginning credit cards, starting with the Discover It secured card. Now, what's a secured credit card? A secured credit card means that you're gonna have to make an upfront investment to obtain that credit card. For example, you want a $300 credit limit on that credit card to start, then you're gonna have to deposit $300 into the issuer. In this case will be Discover, and they would hold that as a security deposit, kind of like if you're getting a deposit on a apartment or a house. They will hold that $300 just in case you were to default on this credit card. Then they will use that $300 security deposit to get their money back. Just because it is secured, it still reports like a normal credit card on your credit report, and it still helps build credit. And the Discover secured card actually comes with some perks. For example, 1% cash back on all transactions, and then they also offer a 2% cash back on purchases made at gas stations or restaurants up to $1,000 per quarter. Not only that, they also offer a no penalty APR, which means if for some reason you were to be late on your payment, whether it be a day or whatever, they won't increase your interest rate to penalize you for that. I highly don't recommend you to be late on your credit card payment or any payment at any time. In fact, I would recommend that you set up an auto pay for at least the minimum payment due on your account, just to keep it current in case you were hospitalized or some kind of emergency that's maybe beyond your control. The Discover It card also does not have an annual fee. There are credit card issuers who charge you a set price per year just to use their credit card, and the Discover It does not have annual fee, so that's a perk. So in conclusion, the Discover It secured card is great for beginners, or if you're rebuilding your credit history, it's great for that as well. It does require a upfront investment, but to me, it's investing in yourself, investing in your future, and I think it's definitely worth it. Now, let's move on to the next card on my list. Number 2 on the list is the Pedal 2 card. The Pedal 2 card is newer on the market, and it's very unique on how they qualify you for a card. In fact, it's what they refer to as a new approach to credit. So traditionally, when you apply for something, they run what's called a hard inquiry, which is it shows on your credit report, and if you have a credit score, it can in fact lower your credit score temporarily based on the fact that a lender is pulling your credit history. But if you're a beginner, like which I'm assuming a lot of you are because that's why you're watching this video, that poses a problem because once they pull that hard inquiry, obviously there's not going to be any history there to go by to make a decision on because, well, you're just beginning. You're gonna get the dreaded decline on your application. And then you're gonna find out that, well, you can't get a credit card because you don't have a credit score, but you also can't get a credit score because you don't have a credit card. So you're stuck in a conundrum. And that's when Pedal comes in to save the day with their new workaround and their new approach to credit. For the Pedal card, they're gonna utilize your banking history to generate what's called a cash score, which is just a measure of your credit worthiness based on your spending, your income, and your savings. So if you're constantly in the red or negative on your checking account, the chances of being approved for a card are probably pretty slim. But the positive side of them using your banking history is it also doubles as a personal finance app that's going to track your spending, track your interest, and it will even tell you how much interest you're going to pay if you don't pay your balance off in full. Not only that, using your banking history, you may qualify for a better card and a higher limit than you normally would, even though you don't have a prior credit history or a credit score. This card is designed for your success, meaning there's no fees. There's no late fees, there's no return payment fees, no international fees, and no annual fees. So having this card literally costs you nothing. And on top of that, they give you a 1% cash back on all purchases, and after you make 12 on-time payments, they're gonna bump that up to a 1.5% cash back. So they're practically paying you to have this card. I know it is very similar to the Discover It secured card that I just went over. However, it does make it a little better knowing that it's unsecured, so you don't have to make that upfront investment. Not only that, they do report to all 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So you are building your credit history and your credit score with every on-time payment that you make every month. And that brings us to third on our list. And this is one of my personal favorites, and I think one of the best all-around cards, and that is the Citi Double Cash card. I'm sure you're asking, what makes it the best all-around card? And I'm glad you asked, because it's really just the simplicity of this card. It's simple. You get 2% cash back on everything. That's it. There's no revolving categories. Nothing. 2% cash back. You make a purchase, 2% cash back. It don't get any better. Don't get any more simple than that, all right? 2% cash back, you want it? You get it with Citi Double Cash card. And guess what? You get it for free. Why? Because there's no annual fee on this card. Now, unfortunately, there is a negative side to this card, and that's the reason why I put it as number 3 on this list, because you probably want to start out with the Discover It secured or the Pedal 2 card first. Reason being, Citi does require you to have some sort of previous payment history before they're gonna qualify you for this card. Now I know what you're thinking. Aren't there better cards out there that have sign-up bonuses and then revolving categories? Yes, but again, the simplicity of this card what makes it so appealing. Just use it for everything. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about, well, is this the card I use for restaurant? Or is this the card I use for the gas station? You just use it for everything. You don't have to worry about it. And coming up, number 4, last but certainly not least on the list, is gonna be the infamous Apple credit card. Apple has their own credit card now, and I'm sure you probably already knew this unless you live under a rock. It doesn't surprise me because Apple is literally becoming the company that does everything. Phones, computers, headphones, and now credit cards. So what's next? Like, what are they gonna do next? Who knows? Maybe an Apple Pen. I don't know. Maybe it writes by itself or something. I don't know. Now, let me first mention that the Apple credit card, again, like the Citi card, is not a card you want to go for after first if you have absolutely no credit score or no credit history at all, because they do have a minimum score requirement of at least a 600 credit score, which is actually pretty low, and you can obtain that pretty quickly and pretty easily, and I actually have some tips and tricks that I can share that can actually get you from 0 to 650 plus within 30 to 45 days. And if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below and I'll share that in another video. But assuming that you do have some sort of prior credit history and you have at least a 600 credit score, the Apple Card can be a very good option. The first thing about the Apple Card that's very enticing, as you probably have already guessed, has no annual fee, which means that you can literally keep this card open forever and it's not going to cost you a single penny. And you may be wondering, well, why is that important? The reason it's important is because the average length of your credit history is actually 15% of your credit score, meaning the longer you keep an account open, the higher your score will be. And with the Apple Card not having an annual fee, it's literally going to cost you nothing to keep that card open. And not only are you not going to have an annual fee, but you also have some cash back rewards. For example, you get daily cash back, and if you're like me and you like convenience, if you use your Apple Card for Apple Pay, you're gonna get 2% cash back on all your transactions. And not only are you gonna get your 2% daily cash back on all your purchases that you make normally, if you use it for Apple products and there's a few select merchants, you actually get 3% cash back every day. So it makes it just a win-win all around to have this card in your wallet. That wasn't enough to talk you into it. Apple also has a fantastic app that easily helps you track your spending and create good financial habits. And not only that, you get this nifty titanium card. Yep, I put my money where my mouth is. I actually have the Apple Card myself. I actually use the card pretty regularly myself to reap some of the rewards that I mentioned that are available before. So if any of that interests you, I highly recommend you go and check out the Apple Card. Now the Apple Card was the last card on my list, but if you've made it this far in the video, I want to reward you by giving you a bonus card that I didn't mention on the list. And that card is going to be the Bank of America secured card. And they actually have more than one version of it. They have the Bank of America customized cash rewards. They have an unlimited cash rewards, and then just the normal Bank of America secured card. Now the customized secured card actually offers 3% cash back in the category of your choice, 2% cash back at grocery stores and wholesale clubs on the first $2,500 spent in that category, and you get 1% cash back on all purchases, period. And looking at the unlimited cash rewards card, I think the difference is you just earn a flat 1.5% cash back on all purchases, and there's no limit, and you don't get to select your categories on what it is that you're getting that cash back on. Now, again, these are secured cards, so you do have to have an upfront investment, but what I like about Bank of America is when you apply for that secured card, if you have, say, a little bit of history or just not a lot of derogatory items on your credit report, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If this has changed, let me know in the comments. But I know previously, once you applied, sometimes they would offer you what's called the 99-500 secured card. What that means is you would only have to pay up front $99, and then in return you get a $500 credit line. So it's a less of an upfront investment and still get that perks of using a credit card and building your credit. Now, if they have gone away from that, which again, someone let me know in the comments, but as far as I know, they still offer that, but you won't know unless you apply for the card. If not, they offer a minimum of $300 deposit and up to a $4,900 security deposit, just meaning, again, if you submit $300, then your credit line is going to be that $300. But what I also like about Bank of America, and actually I'm pretty sure Discover does this too, is after 12 to 24 months of on-time payments, they'll actually review your account. And a lot of times, if you've been paying satisfactorily and not overspending, like going over your limit, they will actually send your deposit back, make it an unsecured card, and then up your limit, so you're able to build a further relationship with them with an unsecured card, which is amazing. So that wraps up today's video. If you've enjoyed it, I ask that you smash that like button for the old YouTube algorithm, and if you really enjoyed it, smash the subscribe button and turn on the little bell icon so you remain updated for the future videos. Leave a comment below telling me what you learned, telling me what you think your favorite card would be, and let us know if you apply for any of these and if you get approved for them. Just let us know in the comments. See you on the next video.